doobity-doo, the oi, oi, oi. We're the rugby boys, we're the rugby boys. Our mugs are filled to the brim. Our lifestyle is eternal, and rhyming be something we cannot do. Don't come too close, our lifestyle does not exist in the realm of time. Come as what fills up our mugs, we are the rugby boys. Oh, skibbity-bee-da-doobity-doo, the oi, oi, oi. Ah, skibbity-bee-da-doobity-doo, we are the rugby boys.
Tyler with a K. Tyler with a K. Tyler with a K and a baseball bat. Tyler with a K. Tyler with a K.
In the house.
It's Kyler Campbell.
That is who I am.
Well,
That
Kyler,
is,
let's try a little bit of story time because we have a lot of stories, but a lot of them we probably can't talk about. So we'll just
yeah.
talk
I
about the
mean, I
ones
guess we
that we can.
could, but I would like to get a short synopsis of that story prior to you just bringing it up. So I could say if I'm okay with it or not.
Um, dude, before we got on this call, I was trying to eat really fast and I bit into my fork and chipped my tooth. I didn't realize how easy it is to chip a tooth.
A few things here. One, yes, the tooth can be chipped easily. I got a story for that one too.
Yeah, I think it's like me realizing the inevitability of my body breaking down. It
Yep,
was like,
that's the other thing.
yeah, when I saw that happen, I was
We're
like,
getting
holy
older.
shit, dude, this tooth one day might
You
fall
should
out
get
or
close to the
something.
camera. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, but that's okay.
That's not bad at all.
It's bad whenever it looks and feels completely different to
I
me.
dated somebody that was brushing their teeth and her part of her tooth came out
While
into
she
the
was brushing her
sink.
teeth, or while he was
Yeah.
brushing his teeth.
Yeah, yeah. While she was brushing her teeth, yeah. And she came running into my game room saying, "Look
Who
at
was
this." And it
who
was a
was it?
good chunk.
Oh, if
Yeah.
she came into your game room, then I know who it is.
Yeah, it was a good chunk. I was like, "What the heck? It just happened."
Jesus Christ. See, I wish Dylan was on for this. Ethan supposedly chipped his tooth on. I could be getting this wrong.
I hope you are getting it
I
wrong.
could be getting this wrong, but I think he chipped his tooth on a piece of cheese. I'm not 100% sure if that's the truth, but that's what I think Dylan told me. He chipped his tooth on a piece of cheese.
Okay, a few things here. One is Dylan also lies.
Well,
Two, he's gonna make any story better if he can.
Dylan,
Yeah,
well, I think all of us do that. I think,
yeah. Oh,
um,
for sure, I do.
oh yeah, you never like. I wouldn't say you ever lie.
Oh no, I was joking. I was saying I was calling him a liar for this story of him just
Oh,
saying it was cheese. No, I'm not saying he's an actual
but
like
no, I mean,
liar, pants on fire.
I need to actually ask Ethan about this story just to get like his side of it because there was two things I remember him always bringing up whenever either when I first moved in with them, and this was before I got to know Ethan, and I was like, there's no way. One of them was like he either got trapped in a seatbelt and couldn't get out, and then the other one was he broke his tooth on a piece of cheese, and that was like these stories sound made up, but after I got to know Ethan, I was like, okay, they're probably
It
true.
could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my brother, I don't know if you remember. Remember when everybody used to go to the riverfront,
Yeah.
like right out of high school. I mean, as soon as you get done with school,
You really don't
everybody
think
goes
I
there.
would you don't think I would remember that?
I don't
We
know,
did it
dude.
every
I'm
we
just
did it
saying.
every single day.
Okay, so I was, of course, every group did it. So even when I was a freshman, all the juniors and seniors were going there, and of course I was a cadman. And there was a time where there were always airsoft fights.
Oh, I remember the airsoft
Yeah,
time period.
drive-bys of airsofts and everybody. So it was like a common thing for people to be shooting airsofts and everything. So Gavin gets the gun, and he's like, "Okay, man, just get ready for whoever comes and drives by." And he's just looking at the gun, and then he shoots himself in the face.
In the
Wait,
face?
okay, it was this close. He's just looking at the gun, and then he shoots.
He chipped his tooth completely in a third. Like a third of it came off.
And
Well, dude, I mean, that's
I
could be
know,
so much worse if he hit his
I
eye or
know he
something.
could have. I mean, imagine if he accidentally like just hit in the back of his throat and swallowed. I mean, it's so very small, but
Yeah, I don't think the
just
swallowing, it would have been more like could have punctured something in the back of his
yeah,
throat uh
it could have.
or just like you could have
But
lost his
he had to go
eyesight
get
or
He had to go get it fixed.
Should I tell that story about me wrecking Cadman's truck?
Yeah, I've told my whole family.
Okay. All right. So we were kids, and we were in high school. I don't know what time it was. It was definitely after midnight. I would say closer to like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah,
It seemed to be our usual time. We would
it
like,
was 2 or 3.
yeah.
'Cause I actually remember. Yeah, keep going.
And so we left a party. I don't know what.
Can I
How old
interrupt
we
you on
were.
that?
Yeah.
When he says we left a party, we found an abandoned cabin slash house in a place called Lemon, Kentucky.
You remember how many what are they called? We call them
Camel crickets.
camel crickets. They were in that house,
Yeah.
dude, and those things look like scary spider. Are they? They're not actually spiders, are they?
No, they're crickets. They
But they
scare
look
me
like,
more. Yeah, they're
yeah,
the scariest things alive.
they look like the scariest spider you'll ever see. But dude, because we used to see them in your basement too, but we would see
Yes.
them every now and then.
Sorry, my dog just jumped on my lap.
That's Piper. What do you? I feel like we're getting away from. Let's
Yes,
go
we
back to
are.
the
We are.
story. So this happens a lot.
It's my fault.
You derail the
It's
original.
my fault.
Okay, so we left that place. We decided we were driving your brother's truck for some reason. I drove, and I was honestly fine to drive. It was just that whatever happened next was it just sucked. So we were going up a bridge. It's uphill a little bit and a slight curve to the left. It was also either raining or just had rained. I hit the accelerator pretty decently to get up that hill and to go to the left on the bridge.
While on the curve, by the way, of the hill.
Yeah. And we start to spin out or just like, yeah, hydroplane. And the truck does a complete 180 and bounces off the other side of the bridge. And next thing I know, I also kind of like blacked out during this because like I was so scared. I was terrified because of so many reasons, because of alcohol, because it wasn't my vehicle, because it wasn't even your vehicle, it was your older brother's vehicle. Also, we just hit a bridge.
I like how that was your last part. Like you didn't think you wasn't scared of the fact that we could have got hurt and everything. You
Well,
first said,
whenever it kicked in, everything happened so fast, and I don't really remember it. I just remember looking up when I came back to what was really happening. We were in the complete opposite lane facing the other direction. And so I'm like, dude, what the fuck just happened? And I don't really remember much after that, except we drove back the way we came. We went to the riverfront, like we were just talking about, and assessed the damage. I mean, the good thing about all this was that there was literally already a spot on your brother's truck on the right front where I'd hit the bridge that it had already been damaged. So it didn't look like anything had happened.
yeah, you just added a little bit more to it to push it in more, but it was already hit for me being waiting in line in high school, and Jimmy hit me because he forgot he was driving while looking in the back of his back seat,
Yeah.
and I'm stuck in
I remember
line.
that. I remember that too.
And so, you hit it. It was perfect because it didn't look like any more damage was done because there was already damage on that. The only difference is that you pushed it more back in because we already tied that up to a tree and pulled it back. And so when you did that, it just bended that same basically thing back in. And so it was just easy to fix by me tying it back up to a tree.
Yeah. But nobody knew until you told them, right?
Yeah, no one knew. No one
Yeah.
knew until probably I got out of college. Cabin might have known at some point, but
But that was just one of the many times we've like had so many close calls. Like, luckily there was no one else out.
yeah. Well, it's funny because you said you blacked out. If you don't remember, when you was going up the hill, I'm actually on the phone with Bryce.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'm on the phone with Bryce at the time. And as soon as you start going up the hill and I hear the truck make the acceleration, you don't remember? I said, no. And all of a sudden we spin, we hit the guardrail, and then you sit there. And
Yeah.
I'm like, drive. It's like it doesn't look like it looks like it was like we've always been driving.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't want us to be stopped on the bridge. So just drive.
Yeah.
And all I could think about was what Bryce heard.
Oh.
Because he's on the phone
That's a
and I'm
good
just
point.
doing no boom.
That's a
And
good
then
point, dude.
drive.
Yeah. Especially
And
like if he
I
heard
think I
the
told him.
bang.
I think I hung up on him, and I don't think I ever let you drive again.
Yeah. Well, I can't say I blame you. Should we talk about the pronunciation of words?
I think so.
How do you pronounce insurance?
Insurance.
So you say insurance.
I say insurance.
You put more emphasis on in.
Yeah.
And see, according to Alex, it's insurance.
Like so you're saying it like insurance.
Insurance.
I'm saying
No, you're saying insurance. I'm saying insurance.
insurance. Insurance. Insurance. Insurance. Ooh. Feels like I'm saying the
So-
same word. Well, I tell you this. We might have talked about it before. It took me a while. It might have been even you who called me. I feel like it was my brother. He called me and he said, "No, I called him. I'm sorry. No, he called me. Sorry." And he said, and I said, "Yes."
Jesus.
I said, "I call you right back,"
Yeah.
and hung up. Now, break that sentence apart. I'll call you right back. What does the word right mean to you?
Well, it's the first thought would be a direction,
A direction, yeah.
like a location.
A location.
This way.
So how
So
does
you-
the location fit in that? I call you right back.
So you want to get into this conversation
Yeah.
where oh god. This is what me and Dylan get frustrated. We dive into this a lot. If you want to go this route, which you're in Canada, I guess they would say route. Anyways, if you want to go this route, I think we're gonna get to a point where I'm gonna break down any word or any phrase and say that none of it makes sense because
Yeah.
everything is just ba 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 like a sound
Yeah.
that we just slightly changed the way it sounds.
Oh, yeah. It took
And
me
then
a
we-
while. I found it. I found
Oh.
it. I found, yeah, it was like
You
the
found
18th,
language.
the 18th meaning for the word right was in that context. But I think
Oh,
it's
they-
because,
I
yeah,
thought you were
it
gonna
was
say
like-
you found like because you were born deaf. I thought you were gonna say I found it.
oh,
Like I
yeah.
found the meaning
I
to
found
words.
sound.
We could talk about that. How
Actually,
you were born deaf. That's kind of interesting. Most people
I don't
aren't
know if
born.
it's like a fun story though.
Yeah, it's probably not. But most people aren't born deaf. It's just an interesting fact to say.
And it is very true. Which
What about-
now it kind of hurts
Yeah.
me. It does, dude. I hate it when it comes to riding on a plane or anything like that. I know we only got a minute until the next video. I just started getting into it. You know, I was born deaf. It took people 2.5 years, 3 years for them to find out I was deaf. They just thought I was a slow learner. They realized you'll eventually talk. I didn't really start talking until I was 5. I had blockages in both my ears, and so they cleared out all the blockages, which everybody has blockages in their ears when they're born because of all the fluid within the womb and all that. I just had it all the way to where it was blocking off sound completely for me. So they cleaned me out. So now pressure hurts
Mm.
a lot more in my ears. And so being in a plane ride, my head is throbbing. Same thing from going up a mountain and that pressure changes.
Yeah.
Like I'm constantly just the
Pop, 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 pop.
And so, of course, now now I have a speech impediment that won't ever go away. But it's better now than it was, obviously, 25 years ago.
Yeah, we used to always make fun of it. You know, kids
Oh, yeah.
kids will be kids. They're always gonna make fun of.
No, people still do. It's a fun thing to do. I mean, I get it. It's just like when we used to make fun of your skin condition.
Thanks, guys. I remember I had shingles.
Albino.
No, shingles. I wasn't
I've had
albino.
shingles.
You had shingles also?
I lived with you when I got it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I had
In
shingles
Murray?
on my back. In Murray, yeah, on Vine Street. When it was just me and you.
Dude, I was on
And-
drugs.
But remember, you kept saying, dude, that's shingles. I was like, there's no way that's shingles. It's older people and young kids because of the chicken pox and everything. Like, I'm not old. I didn't have insurance at the time. So I went to the doctor.
You didn't have insurance?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I don't remember this at all. But
Yeah, I went
I
to
was on drugs.
the university's health clinic and waited there for like 3 or 4 hours for them to tell me, yeah, it's shingles. And she's like, well, it's sometimes common for college students because of stress, classes, and work and everything. And I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I know that I'm allergic to amoxicillin and penicillin.
Yeah.
Something to do with that. Maybe that's why I got it in the first place or something. Even though we talked about it last time, I either want to talk about the arm break I'll put the pictures and stuff up too. Either we can talk about it now or we can talk about it at the end.
I
Let's talk about it now.
think I want to tell the story though this time.
Okay. I actually
Yeah.
was thinking that too. I wanted you to tell the story. Story
Before we
time with
get into
Kyler.
it, let me get a beer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, story time, story time. So one of our friends, she was getting married. All of us, a lot of us friends from college, we all went to it, obviously. We all live in different states, so we haven't seen each other in a long time. This wedding was obviously a time to celebrate the wedding, but also for us all to hang out because it's been a while.
Yeah, like
Well,
like a college reunion and high
yeah,
school reunion and
I
all
don't
that.
even call it college reunion. I call it a family reunion because we
Yeah.
were pretty much a family in college. We hung out way too much compared to other friends, probably. So the wedding happens with the reception. It's a Catholic wedding, and so there's a lot of alcohol. And we decided to play games. And remember, guys, this is a wedding, and this is us just right out of college. Probably can't remember, man. What are you thinking? 2 years?
Let's say we were mid-20s. Like,
Yeah. So we just got done playing Flip Cup. If anybody knows that drinking game, where doing that game, you're obviously talking shit to the other team. So your ego is already up a little bit. Your banter is already up because you're talking shit. And we shouldn't have been even playing Flip Cup at a wedding reception, by the way,
yeah, it
because
always feels weird. Like I was thinking
yeah,
back to that time we were at your brother's wedding
yeah,
reception
yeah,
and
that
doing
was
keg stands and like all these like older people. And I remember like even your mom, like, just like I felt like disapproval from everyone.
oh
Even though
everybody,
it might
yeah.
not have been, but like I was like,
People,
what are we
some
doing?
people were okay with it because they knew we was having fun, but I'm going to say that was a 50-50 split. Like 50% of the people wish they didn't go to the reception after they saw what they saw
Yeah, we were
there.
treating it like a literally like a high school or a college
Yeah.
party. But back to the
Anyway,
other one, yeah.
yeah. So we just got done playing Flip Cup and everything. And the table is like what do you call those tables? Shuffleboard. Like the width of it is like a width of the shuffleboard. So another buddy named Aaron,
Yeah, his name is also Aaron.
his name is also Aaron.
Aaron
By
number
the
two. Aaron
Aaron
number
number
two.
two. He's been working out since he got out of college. And that's what he's been talking about throughout the wedding or throughout the reception. And he decides that he wants to arm wrestle
Aaron number
Aaron
one.
number one. That's Aaron here. And of course, it's funny that I say this now. Aaron number one immediately said, "No, dude, we're not doing that." And of course, all the other people that we was playing flip cup with wanted them to go, wanted to see an arm wrestle.
Yeah,
And
of
I
course.
agreed with Aaron number one, saying we are not arm wrestling at a wedding. And when you say that,
Juvenile, guys,
it's
juvenile.
juvenile. It's very juvenile. I say that now, but here we are playing flip cup
Yeah.
at a freaking reception, a wedding reception.
Still better than arm wrestling, I
Yeah,
think.
arm wrestle.
That's
And
like I imagine that's like it just seems super like redneck and you
is
know what I mean?
definitely redneck white trash
White
for
trash, that's the
sure.
word I was looking for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they nagged him, Aaron number one, for a while. Aaron, he was saying no for the longest time, and I was saying no for the longest time. It's funny. It's the story. I just remember all the scenes because you eventually just looked at me and said, "Should we just do it?" I said, "Just get it over with, man. Just
I
do
was
it."
looking
Because
for your
you were just looking for me to agree.
permission.
Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just like, should we just do it? I was like, just do it.
I always have
Like
to
I'm
get
actually,
permission from Kyler in these situations. Like
yeah,
ever since I wrecked his brother's truck, it's just no, but I
yeah,
really didn't want to.
yeah. No, no, I didn't want him to either. And so, of course, he finally agreed to it.
Another reason
I
I
was
didn't
like,
want to do it is because I knew that I was going to win and that he
yeah,
was just like getting like I was like, I'm not sure if he's joking around that he's gonna beat me or if he really thinks he is, but like I know for a fact I'm gonna win and there's just no point in doing this. It's gonna be stupid. I'm gonna
yeah.
beat you. And like let's just not do it. I'm
That's
gonna
the reason
beat
why
you.
I didn't want to do it. I was like, I know he's not going to win. I just don't want to see an arm wrestle at a wedding reception. I just didn't want to
Yeah.
see it. Anyway, so it happened where he agreed to it. So they get in their stance. And Aaron number two,
Yeah, Aaron
he's pumped.
Mathis.
Yeah, he's pumped. He's pumped. So
I'm
they
trying to
get in
see
their position.
if I can get back in that memory. All right.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And they're in. They got both their elbows on the table. Like I said, the table's not wide. It's only shuffleboard, so it's like a perfect table for arm wrestling. And I'm the one who even says 3, 2, 1, go. I'm the
Yeah.
one. The guy who just didn't want to do it also is the one who
The referee also.
the referee of it too. Now, Aaron number 2, when we said go, I watched his whole body almost lift up and immediately like try to go as hard as he can right off
Yeah.
the rip. And it might have moved this Aaron here a millimeter. It
Yeah.
wasn't much. And you can tell Aaron number 2 was pushing with his might, all his might, to be able to get Aaron number 1 arm down. And I look over at Aaron number 1, and this dude is just smiling.
At that point, I knew. I was like,
Yeah,
this is
he
well, I
knew. He was
already
just
knew.
smiling. Like it was a smirk. It's like one of those smirks when you look at somebody, you're like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna like this guy because he's just smirking away like he's too good for everybody.
Yeah.
Like
That's how I felt.
like he knew, like it was just a smirk that he knew, oh dude, this is
Yeah.
gonna be stupid. He wasn't trying. That's the more of the story.
Yeah. I was just
Aaron
holding
one
him.
wasn't
I was
trying.
just holding him still because I knew that as soon as I started trying, it was just gonna be a matter of less than 5 seconds before I won. And
Yeah.
so I was just kind of like soaking in that moment of just like, dude, you thought you could beat me, and I fucking told you couldn't. I didn't want to
Yeah.
do this, and here we are. You can't beat me. There's just no way.
Yeah. And
Anyways.
for some reason I always want to say it. I know this wasn't the case, but I felt like I've just known you for so long. I knew exactly when you was going to try, like the timing and everything. And I always want to say it was when I just say, "All right, man, just do it,"
Yeah.
and then you start
Probably
trying.
was.
Yeah,
It probably was. I was definitely like kind of like looking over like,
yeah, I know.
did I
That's what I'm trying to
go?
say.
Again, I had to
And
ask you for permission for some.
yeah, I was like, just get it over with, just do it. So Aaron number 1 then tries. When I say he tries, the try lasts for probably 2 seconds because after 2 seconds of Aaron number 1 trying, we hear a loud pop. And I'm not gonna lie, guys.
Oh man.
There's a whole wedding reception going on. Music's playing, people are dancing and everything. I
Families are
promise you,
gathered. Like,
yeah, and we're gathered in a corner doing all this, by the way. So we're hoping no one's paying attention to us because we kind of got it blocked like a circle around the whole table so it doesn't look like we're white trash arm wrestling,
yeah, we
but
kind
we
of had it,
are.
like,
So we kind of
hidden.
had it blocked, you know. But I'm gonna tell you, this pop sucked all the other sound out of that wedding reception away.
I mean,
Like
it was loud.
it was so loud, it felt like time stopped, music
I agree.
stopped. Yeah,
agree.
like it didn't make sense for us to hear this loud pop.
It's like when you see it like in a movie or a show where something happens and then like the music stops, the guy stops playing the piano and like everyone's just looking at whatever just happened, and then they pause for a few seconds and then they go back to like playing the piano and everybody goes back to talking in the
Yeah,
background.
that's a good example, actually.
Like in those movies where somebody says, "Have you seen Ranger John?" And then everyone's like, like that's the forbidden guy. That's exactly what it
Ranger
felt
John,
like.
that's the name he came up
That's
with
the
for this.
that's the worst name I've ever came up with, by the
Yeah.
way. But anyways,
So you hear the pop and you hear silence, it seems like, but we know it's not. The wedding's still going on, but our entire group is silent. I watched the arm also. When you hear that pop, you see it snap. And none of us said a word. There was 7 of us. No, 8. I forgot Bryce. 8 hanging out in this spot. And you gotta remember, all of us are yelling and agging this fight on. The only one silent is Aaron and myself until about you basically, let's get over with. Come on. But everybody else is like, yeah, come on, trying to go for Aaron number
yeah,
2. And everybody heard that noise, that pop. You never heard people get so quiet so quick.
yeah,
And you've never seen an arm go from constant steel strength, looking stiff as can be, to all of a sudden limp in a matter of 2 seconds. By the way, guys, 2 seconds, because this is
Unless
all it
you
took, Aaron.
unless you like pull up a video, unless you've never seen a video of this, it's pretty shocking. Because I mean, I've watched videos after this, and it brought that back to me, like when it happened. But it looks so bad. I mean, it looks just as bad as you would think. I mean,
Yeah. No, yeah. And so everybody's quiet, and I watch, and I'm just staring at Aaron number two.
and
And he,
it breaks
oh,
like right here, like
I
you know what I
can't
mean.
remember exactly. I can't remember where it
It
broke.
was something in the upper part of the arm,
Yeah. Yeah,
like
maybe. I can't
literally just
remember.
literally snapped in half.
So, so I'm watching Aaron number two, and Aaron number two grabs, like, I know you can't see in the camera, but he grabs his arm, his other arm, to hold it like this. And his arm is laid out like this. So he's looking at his arm. And then he looks back at Aaron number one. And then he looks back at his arm. Looks back at Aaron number one. And it just said, "You just broke my fucking arm."
You just broke my fucking arm, dude.
Yeah. And he was already turning white as a ghost almost already. And as soon as he came out and how he said, "You just broke my fucking arm," I knew I had to say something right off the rip, because I felt like we was about to cause a scene.
Yeah.
And that was the thing I was more scared of than anything. This sounds ridiculous because the guy just broke his arm. But I didn't want to be known as our group who broke someone's arm and everybody knows that at the party and we caused a whole scene and ruined a wedding. So
Yeah,
as soon as Aaron, we were all in shock, but as soon as Aaron number two said, "You just broke my fucking arm," it's like I was able to snap out of the whole shock thing. And I was like, okay, you know what? This is what we're doing. Guys, we're going to walk out of this wedding reception very calm, cool, collective, and act like nothing ever happened. I'm going to get Aaron into my car, Aaron number two in my car, and I'm going to take him to the hospital. No one has to know about any of this and everything. We're just going to go and do it. Everybody ready? Let's go.
all right, break. Ready,
Yeah.
break. You just said that.
Ready,
That
break.
would've-
It's basically
that
like
would've been
that.
hilarious. But it would have been
And-
hilarious because I just broke his arm. So if you said,
Yeah,
ready, break.
I should have. That would have been
Man,
good.
we missed a
But
lot
I
of
remember at the
opportunities.
end, as soon as I said, "Let's go," it allowed Alex to do his little, that little laugh of his, you know, it allowed him to finally, like, he finally came back, from the shock and was able to do that, that high pitched laugh he does. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Just funny that you brought that up.
yeah, I should have said this beforehand. I wanted us to split up, like go out throughout the wedding thing, but all 8 of us decides to walk in a line to get
Well,
out of the wedding reception.
I mean, that was the most interesting thing we'd ever seen.
Yeah.
So, of course,
Yeah, for
we're not
sure.
going to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to walk away. Like, no, it's like, what the fuck is going on? Let's see what happens next.
Yeah,
Because,
it did look weird of a line of people walking because we was in the very back of this wedding reception. We had to walk all the way to the front to get out.
I don't know. I mean, I'm
And
glad you
no one
directed
saw it.
us because
Yeah.
I was definitely in shock. There's nothing. If it were up to me, I would have just sat there until like somebody else took charge because that was just from my perspective to feel that happen, like feel someone's arm literally snap and then just hit the table was. I do wish we had a recording of it. This was back before cell phones were so used for everything.
Yeah.
If we did this into this year or the past
It
however
would have
many
been filmed.
years,
Someone would have filmed it
someone
for
was
sure.
recording it. How is no one recording this? Like that is one thing I wish we had a recording of it. Because even though it was traumatizing, it would be. I mean, that's fucking gold. That material. Just
Oh,
to
goodness
have that.
gracious. Yeah.
Because I've seen videos online since, and the fact that we were at a wedding reception, I think makes it 10 times worse than like because I've seen it. The times I've seen it happen are more usually like almost professional arm wrestling.
Yeah, I've seen it in competitions and everything. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's funny that you say the professional thing is because, well, I had a foreman where I worked that. That's what he did. He loved arm wrestling people. He was in his 40s and he acted like he'd never be beat. And I try to explain to him that, dude, this is why you shouldn't do it. He said it's not gonna happen to me. And I don't know if it ever did or anything, but the fact that I'm telling a guy in their 40s and he still wants to arm wrestle.
I told that story to someone like right after it happened, and he was like, "Dude, arm wrestle me right now." And I'm like, "What? Did you just hear what I said?" And he took it as like a challenge,
Challenge.
and it was just like, "Dude, arm wrestle me. I bet I could beat you." And I'm like, "It's not about who. I don't want this to happen to my own arm. So like,
Hmm.
even if you could beat me, I don't want my arm to like." After I saw that, I'm like, "This is. I didn't know that was possible. The fact that
Yeah.
that's possible for a human's arm to snap that like that." No, dude. I think I arm wrestled once since then. I arm wrestled Ethan and Dylan. We were all drunk. So like usually if I'm drunk, I would still say no. I don't drink, but back in the day. But they arm wrestled me at the same time. Like Ethan and Dylan had their arms versus me, and I still beat them. But
Well, that would make sense.
yeah,
I mean,
I just didn't. I felt better about their arms when both snap at them. Like it just didn't
that
make
would
any
have been
sense.
harder for both their arms. That's what I'm saying. It would make sense. Is it
Yeah,
both their arms? Yeah, that's a different way. I mean, I don't see you snapping either one of those arms.
yeah. I didn't either.
I've never done it since then, except for a 15-year-old. One of my friends, his daughter, just wanted to arm wrestle.
Did she beat you?
I can't remember if she did or not. Maybe
Oh my God, I hope so, dude. That would be so funny.
she could have.
But from now on, we need to remember if
Obviously,
somebody's
she
gonna
did it.
arm if somebody's gonna arm wrestle, we have to get it on camera just in case.
Oh no, I won't. I won't be part of it.
I won't arm wrestle, but if somebody else starts arm wrestling and like I have no control over stopping them, I'm gonna record, obviously.
Yeah, there's no way.
Um,
To be honest, I don't know if I would do it. I'd walk away.
yeah. Do you remember that? Do you remember that time you drank dip spit in
Oh
my mom's
God.
car?
Yeah.
This is one of the things I thought of when I was trying to think, what can we talk
It's
about?
funny that's what you remember. That's the story you thought of.
I have another one that's along those lines. I think I'm not sure who was dipping in it. Probably me because we
It
had
was
must
just
have had,
mine. No, it was my dip spit.
oh, it was?
Yep, it was my dip spit. I didn't drink it, by the way, guys. I didn't swallow it.
You didn't swallow it, but he thought it was like
Yeah,
we had probably two bottles. One of them might have been Coke, one of them might have been a dip spit bottle.
I had two Mountain, I had a Mountain Dew bottle and then a Mountain Dew spitter.
And he instead of looking at one, he just took
I
it
just went.
back and it was all dip spit in his mouth. In my mom's car. I don't think did you spit it out in the car or did you
No,
make it
I tried to put it back.
oh, I'm getting
So
yeah.
this is the bottle here. And so when I realized I did it, I go,
Yeah. And I'm driving like, oh shit, dude, we got like just
and
don't
went to
spit
the
in my
back to the
mom's
bottle.
car.
And I blew as hard as I could because I shouldn't have. I should have just went slow to get everything in, make sure they got in. But I end up going so hard to where it just coming from the sides too, and in his mom's car.
Anyone who's ever dipped before knows how gross that feeling is.
Yeah,
Oh
and
God.
you got to also remember the story about taking in context that Aaron didn't really like if anybody smoked cigarettes ever in his mom's car. Didn't really want people dipping in his mom's car, making a mess or anything like that in the car. And of course, I just put dip spit over their. I mean, it's basically cotton fabric seats. It's
Yeah.
cars. They're not made like that anymore. Those type of seats. But it was like
Well,
cotton.
this brings us to the next. I didn't like people smoking in my car, honestly. Like I would
Oh yeah, I agree. But
um
you
but you
did when you used to smoke.
I know, but do you remember this is my next thing. Did you dropped a
D-
cigarette
Yeah,
in
hold
my
on.
car?
Hold on. Go tell that freaking story.
Yeah. I thought you were good
Go
enough to get
tell
a
that
beer.
story.
Yeah. Well, of course, yeah, like we're talking right now about the times you have fucked up in me or my family's cars, or because we already talked about me fucking up in your family's car.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you dropped, I can't remember if you were,
I will. Hold on. Before we jump right into that, we'll probably have to start another one.
it's okay. We can just wrap it up. We can fit
Oh,
everything in.
you're not having fun?
No, it's just that it's getting late. It's 10:30 here, and
Okay.
I have to wake up kind of early tomorrow.
Oh, we got
So
all over the car anyway.
you also dropped
Yeah.
a cigarette in my car. Or did you drop a cigarette and you spit in my car?
No, it wasn't spit. I know
One
what I
time you went,
did. I think it was the
remember?
same. I know I did a lot that night.
Yeah, that was, I think that was the same day,
Yeah,
possibly.
I was feeling pretty, let's just say I was pretty
Ine
drunk.
inebriated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, let's just say drunk.
yeah. And I've been begging Aaron to let me smoke in his car for all night. And guys, I can't remember what we were doing. It might be one of those nights where we just drive all night, just listen to music and hanging out. And he finally says yes to me. He lets me smoke. And the funny thing is, Aaron smoked, but he didn't smoke in his car,
Yeah, because I don't
which was
want
weird.
burns in it.
Yeah. So anyway, I get to the end of my cigarette. I look at Aaron and say, "Hey, Aaron." And I did this on purpose. I literally threw the cigarette on his floorboard. It's a good thing he had pretty thick plastic. What do you call those?
Yeah. Format?
Floor mats and everything. And of course, he's driving. He can't do nothing to me. So I knew
Yeah.
that. And of course, he's
Yeah.
yelling at me and everything. And then that's when I spit, I think.
I thought we were
And
parked at the bait shop or something when you spit, but I could be wrong.
no, we was in Livermore when all this happened.
Well, there might have been a second time where you spit at my car, or else you drooled after something.
That could have
Um,
happened.
I think that happened
Um,
too. God, dude. Like now,
I know. But
I
the
think
reason why this all started
we're
was
realizing that you're just a bad friend.
I was bad that night. I was. I was very bad. But the reason why it all started was you didn't want me to open up your glove box because you got CD stuff in there. And I asked you, dude, let's change the CD out. And you did not want to change the CD out because it was stuff in there. And I said, screw it. I'm opening this up and changing the CD out. And I opened it up. I mean, all these CDs went straight to the floorboard. I mean, you had that so packed of CDs.
I don't even remember this at all.
Yeah, it was packed. And so you just was getting mad at me because I opened it and and you was telling me not to open it because I've been begging for a new CD. And so then I was mad already because you just went off on me like I'm a child. Like
This
I would
sounds like
have.
you were. This all sounds like you were just a child, and I'm sitting here telling you no, and you're like, I want to, and then you just do it anyways, and I
It
get fucking
was
like,
that
this
night.
is why I told you no. Like this is why I said no. I mean, this is.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. That's exactly what it was. He was taking care of a child, and that child never listened at
Do
all
we
that
have
night.
time for us one more story? Do you remember the time you broke somebody's nose? Can you tell that in 2.5
Ooh.
minutes or less?
All right, guys, 2.5 minutes. Went to a concert, mosh pit style concert. One of our friends, we were not in the mosh pit at all. We was hanging out in the back, but one guy came out of the mosh pit and decided to, I want to say punch. It was a good push to where it would hurt somebody push wise. This dude that he pushed, one of our friends, he's like 6'3", big dude, should to be able to take care of himself, but he can't. Well, he couldn't.
You talking about
And
Jackson?
yeah,
Oh,
and he pushed him and ran right back to the mosh pit. Asa tells the story better than everybody because he says, I turned to our group and I said, what the fuck? And I just ran towards that mosh pit, swooped in like Gears of War. If you ever play Gears of War, where you're running, crouched the whole time, running through this mosh pit to find this dude, and I uppercutted him to break his nose.
it's only uppercut. I see. I guess it is.
What
Maybe.
I mean, is this not
I guess it is, but your hand's facing the other way.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's my palm, okay, uppercut with the palm facing up. And when I tell you that I felt bone shatter my hand, I literally did. I don't know if it was just the cartilage also moving and everything. People would tell you, usually when you break your nose, you won't bleed right off the rip and everything. It was blood immediately. I hit him. My arm was covered in blood. And that dude took off running. This dude was also
Yeah.
like 6'3", 6'4". That's the
You
reason
could
why I
have
had to
killed
do
him.
that.
You could have
Yeah, I
killed
could
him.
have killed him. And it was stupid of
We
me.
have to, yeah, we have to wrap it up because this
Yeah,
thing is about to stop recording. So I think we had a good story, Tom.
I think so too. I think it's good stories.